business, we call it, but I'll tell you what, we're not in my backyard, we're in Kurt's backyard. This place is absolutely unbelievable. Kurt Landis, you have been with the IronPigs how long now?
Since the very beginning, since 2006.
Oh, I'll never forget a quick story. I was so excited. We had a suite, and I brought my friends. I didn't realize that you had to get food ahead of time. So all these important people at my suite, I had no food. I was literally going next door stealing stuff until we got it in there. But I'll never forget that day, and the cold day in spring, and just unbelievable that here we are in the Lehigh Valley. I guess I want to ask you that question. What was your perception when you first got here, and how has that changed?
Oh, I didn't know anything about Allentown and the Lehigh Valley. And in fact, I was confused what the difference was between Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, and Lehigh Valley. When I got here, everyone said it's 3 different cities, 3 different personalities. So we actually had some concern about naming the team Lehigh Valley, but we thought it was important that we had a name that signified the entire area that everyone could feel proud of. But so many people were telling us about how parochial the 3 areas were. So I thought that was interesting as an outsider. And there were so many people the first year, even after we opened, that said, you won't make it here, nothing survives here. There was definitely a mentality. Yeah. It was, I think, born from the steel businesses that had closed, that things just don't succeed here. So when all of a sudden people started walking into East Allentown, they were just like, I can't believe I'm in Allentown. Nothing happens great for Allentown. And I always felt it was important and a lot of pride that we turned around that mentality, followed by the Arts Quest, and then the arena, the casino.
Yeah,
we're kind of the front edge of turning around the perception for people here themselves.
Well, you make a really good point, because the point was we had some initial steps on ballparks and arenas that didn't happen, and you're right. I forgot that the attitude what we have now. Number one, but first of all, you were going to happen. You were going to come here. But I think the biggest thing is to you, the ownership, the Blitz company. When you walked in, this was everything from a physical standpoint, venue, everything you ever dreamed it would be.
Yeah. So it's amazing looking back from 17 years ago. The mentality of nothing works here, and I think now, and this is props to you and the chamber, economic development, Discovery Lehigh Valley. There's definitely a mindset of business and the leaders of, let's do this. We can make this happen. And I think we're now a beacon for the rest of Pennsylvania that we can make any public project happen here. And the ballpark was on the front step of that. So there's a lot of pride I have. And then being able to maintain and then add to the ballpark each year. And I really feel it's a landmark for a lot of people, culturally and actually physically a landmark.
And, I think you're such the perfect guy. And that's, chamber talk, patronizing. But one thing I noticed about the Lehigh Valley, they're big on humility. And you're a servant leader, if you will. I mean, I can call you, text you anytime. Anybody can. In what they need, you're going to have. You're going to be here during the game. It's just your personality. Where'd that come from? I mean, hardworking parents, or, you're a worker.
I grew up on a farm, and my father would work during the day as an accountant, and he'd come home at night and work on the farm. And growing up, I think you just recognize that's how. So
he worked all the time.
He did. I did, and I certainly, for better or for worse, that was ingrained in me. But the servant leadership is right, but you're proud to be a servant leader because you feel like you're serving and giving memories. You're giving back to the community. You're allowing people to have a great time here with families, corporations, and the entire mindset is a culture of service that we have in the front office, of allowing people to have the best environment, the most entertainment. We're servicing all of our fans as they come to the ballpark, but that's what you have to have in this type of industry.
By the way, you might note that I have my IronPigs jersey on, which I love so much. This material is out of this world. But I want to talk about, again, this facility, but what I don't think people realize, I don't know if they can see it. By the way, Ellie and Bailey are here with me, but they're out there, I guess talk about that. That field has to be perfect. And is that not only, of course, your standards, but does Major League Baseball also say, hey, this is, if it's not what they want, you're going to hear about it?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you'll hear about from the Phillies, you'll hear about from the players, the umpires. After every series, no matter who we play, the umpires, the visiting team, they'll survey us on a number of things. The clubhouse, the hotel facilities, how they're treated at the ballpark, the playing surface. So you have to have set parameters that Major League Baseball gives you in terms of depth of your warning track, the type of field condition, and so forth. But there's still a lot of wiggle room to do it right or to do it at the minimum. And we have 2 groundskeepers that work year-round, full-time, benefited groundskeepers, that their entire job is this 5 acres behind us. And sometimes when I tell people you have 2 people that work 40 hours a week and then some, a lot more in the summer, just on this field, it's like, wow, I only roll my grass an hour and a half a week in the summer, you know? So that's the type of level of detail it takes to maintain a professional field.
I bet you love those 2 people. I would assume you got to be totally all in on this, or forget it. And I mean, this is their lawn, if you will, their field.
Sure. I think a lot of people work here, if it's the groundskeepers, the clubhouse manager, anyone within our front office, you really have to love that servant leadership, love what you do. You love the environment. And for me, it's about providing memories for people. And you give up a lot of holidays, you give up a lot of backyard barbecues of your own, so you can help provide those memories and those moments for everybody else. So when you have a strikeout cancer night and people here are rising up together to help raise money to combat cancer, and you can recognize those that fight cancer or those that help fight cancer, or there's a child that had a really rough incident, whatever that might be, and you know about it and some of the community makes you aware of it, and you bring that kid onto the field to meet a player or to play catch. You know, those are things that you can't do when you're an accountant, or maybe as a guy in charge of the chamber, you can do those things. But the general person, to have these resources and that people look up to this place and to be able to provide those experiences, it's one thing for the fans, but we can do things above and beyond. We've hosted weddings.
That's a good idea.
We've done all kinds of things here.
Think of that. That's a great idea.
Well, your next marriage.
Thank you for that, Wendy. Don't watch this. Anyway, so I wanted to ask you this, because people are, for all these sports enthusiasts out there, you have a lot of big leaguers come here. Bryce Harper was here. By the way, while we're doing this, there's like killer bugs, but it's summertime. But anyway, a story like, who's like your? I mean, when they come here, they're only here for a couple of days. Interact. Do you find everybody? I guess all different personalities.
Sure. I mean, we have a lot of major league players that come down on rehab for a week, for a day. From Bryce Harper, right? We've had Ryan Howard, Chase Ali, and I think,
is that pressure for you when the big names are coming, or is it just business as usual?
You try to make it business as usual, but it's more exciting because the fans feel it, and more people are focused on your game and on your entertainment, and you might draw people from Philadelphia or from a broader region, people that want to come to see those players, but maybe haven't been here to see an IronPigs game before. So you have a little of a pressure to put your best foot forward. But I'd like to think that pressure exists, at least for me, every day, to have your best foot forward.
I think it does with you. I've seen you in action.
You see a straw wrapper on the concourse, you pick it up.
But just to make us happy, who was the nicest? I was really engaging. You're like such a...
Jimmy Rollins, I think, was really engaging. Ryan Howard was fantastic.
Good. Okay.
Pedro Martinez, I thought was very engaging and friendly. And Bryce Harper, it's not to say he wasn't, but he is protected by so many people, and the demand for his time.
Even from the moment he pulls up, he's got people around.
And he's a superstar beyond superstars, right? A LeBron James type. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated as a 16-year-old. So it's hard to get past a barrier that individual has with anybody, because you're just used to people only needing things from you.
Yeah, I think you make a point. People don't realize that kind of visibility, that kind of pressure. At some point, it has to change.
You know what it's like.
Exactly. I live it day to day. I know the feeling. I know it very, very well. Hey, how about you had an amazing announcement you made, and I love that, because although now you're going to be a busy guy all year long,
right.
Talk about that. Unbelievable. So, and the community is going to love every minute of it.
Right. Recently, we announced that Coca-Cola Park is now also hosting 44 dates in the winter, not just the 75 IronPigs games in the summer, but in the winter hosting a tremendously huge 1 million plus light show at the ballpark, and they're all going to be set to music, synchronized to music. But throughout the event, you'll be able to visit Santa, Elsa, write letters to Santa, have Santa's workshop. We have igloos that'll be on the field. You can rent an igloo for you and your family members.
I love that idea.
Of course, corporate parties in the PNC Club or our dugout suites, our Nutcracker suites, as it were. We'll have, people can buy s'mores kits, and we'll have dozens of fire pits here in the plaza that you can make your s'mores. So to have a Christmas event, to meet Santa, and to be able to walk around and participate and see and eat all these, what I would call Instagrammable foods.
Mhm.
So it's going to be like a Hallmark, holiday movie set
Yeah.
here at Coca-Cola Park for 44 nights.
Wow, that's incredible. Again, big another load for you. So do you see? I mean, this is sort of I don't know. Do you see yourself staying here? I mean, what else are you going to say? But I think you seem to. This is your place.
People ask me that. I think people are trying to get rid of me.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
I love the Lehigh Valley. I genuinely did. I didn't know anything about it coming here, but it's been a great place to raise my kids. I've made great friendships, and I love the region. I grew up in a rural area.
Do you remember, by the way, when you found out you were coming here, were you like looking at a map thinking, where the heck is this? Where am I going?
I did look at a map. I looked at a map, and for me, myself, it was a great opportunity to create a brand from scratch. And those opportunities within sports are very rare, but to help design a ballpark, to help make the initial decisions about what things look like or what policies, but really just to create that brand, that was something that was very exciting to me and very unique. So I probably would have moved to Alaska for the opportunity, but I'm so glad it's here because, like I said, the friendships, the business community is really tight knit. I love it. But I feel like it's a rural area, but also has all the benefits of a large city. It has a little bit of everything, and I genuinely love it. I don't see myself going anywhere. I like it here, and to me, this has almost become a little bit of a legacy. Everything I do here is something about being able to give back to the community.
I'm sure you like all of us, you go to, they have meetings for all the managers of Major League Baseball or baseball in general. A loaded question here, but Phillies, you see and compare really good ownership. I mean, the people you've brought up here that I've met are very approachable, really, really, Dombrowski, really nice.
Well, we're very blessed. There's two things. We have our partnership affiliation with the Philadelphia Phillies. Great organization, good people. I think they're very involved and integrated, making sure that not just the product on the field and the players and the team go well, but that they understand the business aspect of what we're trying to accomplish here as a partner. But then from an ownership standpoint, Joe Finley, Craig Stein, two individuals who own multiple minor league organizations. They're actually they're very different, the two of them, but they work so well together because they have different viewpoints. It's a very good partnership, and every day and every year they give us the ability to reinvest in the ballpark. They allow myself and our staff to be creative, be very unique, try things, be risky, and really from day one, this has been a AAA team with a single A attitude.
Yeah.
Right. We wanted to be. When we came out with the name IronPigs, that was very bold and very unique, and that identified
a lot of people wanted
who we wanted to be.
Yes, that? They wanted you to be the Phillies.
True story. Joe and Craig, our owners, want us to be Phillies, and our front office convinced them that was boring, and that people will know that we're a Phillies affiliate. But again, so many people leading up to opening day had told us this won't work, this won't be successful. They thought having the Phillies name would lend credibility that this is real and affiliated and important. But we thought we'd be able to get past that, and the brand was going to be important into having the fun family activities that we have. And we won that argument. It obviously became the IronPigs.
Mm-hmm. Well, two questions. So a lot of business people watching this, business leaders, if you will. Two questions. Number one, besides the fun, you got to make numbers work. And secondly, if you watch, say, ESPN or the Philly station, how much now Lehigh Valley gets mentioned? Say Philly market that didn't even know us. You hear about, IronPigs, and the Lehigh Valley gets mentioned so much. So two things. Not easy. You got to make the numbers work. You got a lot of employees, and you got expenses. Do you like that part, and are you good at it?
Well, I've been here for 18 years, so I can think that I'm decent at it. I enjoy the business of baseball, but it's not. In many ways, it's hard. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of different companies under one umbrella. It's food and beverage. It's hospitality. It's finance, marketing, tickets, merchandise, the store. It's a lot of different types of silos under one. So for me, it's a lot of variation, and I enjoy it. But it's a lot of moving parts.
And I assume when you do a report, how's the store doing? How's food and beverage doing? How's ticket sales? How are the suites doing?
Right.
How are the billboards, the outdoor boards?
Right. Sponsorship's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And all those things are very, very important. And you, just like many companies, you have budgets, and you have to be successful so you can pay your employees a fair wage. You have to do all the right things regulatory-wise within our industry and others. But a lot of the decisions that are associated with running a business, when you put yourself in the fans' shoes, the decision becomes pretty easy because you're here looking for long-term success, not short-term success. When you have that mindset of the fan and being here long-term, those decisions start to become easier and easier.
Well, Kurt, we're out of time. We were out of time a while ago, but I know you feel the same. Maybe you don't. I could go on and on. You're probably tired of me. But anyway, thanks for what you do. Thanks to, to the Iron Pigs, the ownership, the Phillies, Finley and Stein, just a whole good group. And we really appreciate you. You're a good guy, and you're made for this valley.
Thank you. The Chamber has been there when we needed you in all kinds of ways. So we appreciate you as well.
Yep. All right. Another backyard business, and at a beautiful, beautiful backyard. Love this place. And stay tuned. Keep watching us. It's growing rapidly. We're thankful for that. Thanks.